Ever try to tell your voice assistant a joke and it just completely misses the mark? Like you're going for a good laugh and it's adding dish soap to your grocery list.
Yeah, it's like they don't get the joke, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you realize these systems, they're really just reacting to the words, not so much how we say them.
It's true. They're mostly focused on the words themselves, not all the nuances that we humans naturally pick up on.
And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. We're looking
Yeah.
at Salmon, this new system that's trying to change all that. It wants to make AI understand sound in a whole new way.
Right, because there's so much more to audio than just the words, isn't there?
Absolutely. But before we really jump in, let's talk about what we've got to work with here. We're digging into this research paper, it's called, and get ready for this. A suite for acoustic language model evaluation.
Catchy, right?
Super catchy. Thankfully, they also have this project webpage. Makes things way easier to digest.
Definitely. It gives a great overview of everything Salmon is trying to do.
Okay, so imagine this. You're talking to your device, right? And it doesn't just understand the words you're saying. It understands your tone of voice, the background noise, even the acoustics of the room you're in. That's the future Salmon is aiming for.
It's really about going beyond just what's being said. It wants to teach AI to understand how it's being said and everything else going on around it, like giving AI the ability to truly listen.
It's like giving our devices another sense. And to do that, Salmon is really focused on two main things: acoustic consistency and acoustic semantic alignment.
Yeah, those are the two biggies.
I know those sound maybe a lot technical.
They do sound a bit sci-fi, but they're actually pretty straightforward once you break them down.
Okay, good. So break it down for us. What is acoustic consistency?
Basically, it means, can the AI figure out if something just sounds a bit off?
So, like, is the AI becoming a sound editor now?
In a way, yes. Like if the speaker changes in the middle of a sentence or there's this sudden loud noise in the background, the AI should be able to pick up on those things, flag them.
Interesting. Okay, I see. And what about that second one, the acoustic semantic alignment? That's a mouthful.
It is. But it's basically about whether the AI can connect what's being said to the actual sonic environment. So, for example, if someone says, wow, it's so peaceful here, but there are jackhammers blaring in the background.
Yeah, maybe not so peaceful.
Right. The AI should be able to pick up on that mismatch, the fact that the words and the sounds don't quite line up. It's about context, understanding the bigger picture.
So the AI needs to kind of be a sound editor, huh? And then connect those sounds with what's actually being said. How does that even work? How do they test if Salmon can really do all that?
So they have these really clever tests, and the cool thing is they have these audio examples right on the Salmon webpage. You can actually listen to them yourself.
Oh, wow. So we can kind of play along, see if we'd pass the AI test.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the tests is for sentiment analysis. They have the same phrase, but it's spoken in different ways. Happy, sad, even whispered.
Okay, so it's like someone could be saying, this is great, but it's like in this totally flat voice.
Yeah, like they're being sarcastic.
Right, exactly. And some of these AI models, they can actually recognize that just from hearing it.
Yeah, they can pick up on those really subtle differences in emotion just from the audio.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
And maybe a little creepy too, right? Like, it could almost read your mind.
It's true. There are definitely some ethical things to think about as this tech keeps developing. But for now, it's pretty amazing to see how much AI can pick up on just from how we say things.
Totally. So sentiment, that's one thing. But what about the actual sounds happening around the speaker? You know?
Right, so besides sentiment, they're also testing things like, can the AI tell when the speaker changes? Can it identify gender from the voice? And what about filtering out different background noises?
So like if you're in a busy coffee shop trying to have a conversation, could the AI actually figure out your voice from all the other noise?
That's exactly the kind of thing they're looking at. And then there's this other test I find really interesting. Room impulse response, they call it.
Okay, sounds intense.
It sounds super technical, yeah. But it's actually pretty cool. Imagine every room has this unique echo, like a sonic fingerprint.
Okay.
Salmon is testing if AI can actually tell those fingerprints apart just by listening.
Wait, so it can tell if you were in like a cathedral or a tiny recording booth or something?
Exactly. Even if someone's saying the exact same words, the way the sound bounces around those spaces is totally different. And some AI models are starting to pick up on that.
That's amazing. It really shows how much information is hidden in the sounds all around us.
Yeah.
Stuff we probably don't even realize.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder what else AI will be able to figure out about sound, in the future.
So those are the tests. But what about the results? Is salmon passing with flying colors? What's the verdict?
Well, the research paper breaks it all down. And there are definitely some surprises. Turns out, most AI models are still kind of bad at that acoustic semantic alignment thing we talked about.
Really?
They really struggle to put the meaning of the words together with what's happening with the sound.
So even though they can maybe tell you're happy or sad, they wouldn't get it if you said, "What lovely weather," during a thunderstorm.
Exactly. They haven't quite mastered sarcasm yet.
Not quite.
But, and this is interesting, some models are really good at spotting inconsistencies in the audio itself. Like if the speaker suddenly changes or there's a weird jump in the background noise, they pick up on that right away.
So they're like super sound engineers catching all the tiny mistakes.
Yeah, you could say that. They're very detail-oriented.
Wow. So even if AI hasn't completely mastered all the subtleties of sound, it feels like we're getting really close.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what makes salmon so important. By figuring out where AI still needs work, researchers can focus on building smarter, more nuanced models in the future.
This is where it gets really interesting for me, right? AI has come so far, but where does it go from here? Like down the line, what if AI actually masters all this acoustic understanding? What could we even do with that?
The possibilities they're huge. Imagine devices that don't just hear you, but they actually listen and understand.
Okay, yeah.
Think about it. AI could personalize your entire audio experience, filtering out distractions, adjusting the acoustics, like to make it sound like you're in your favorite concert hall, even recognizing your mood and recommending music based on that.
So it'd be like having like a personalized sound engineer with me everywhere I go.
Exactly. But it goes even beyond that. Think about things like assistive technologies, devices that could better understand and support people with disabilities, like picking up on subtle cues in their voice or adapting to different sonic environments.
Wow, that would be amazing. Feels like we're on the edge of something really big here, like unlocking a whole other way for AI to be in the world.
Absolutely. And like with any new tech, there's this huge potential for good, but it has to be done thoughtfully, responsibly.
Right, like making sure it doesn't become some kind of, Orwellian nightmare.
Exactly. Finding that balance, pushing those boundaries, but always making sure these advancements are used for good.
Well said. There's this one thing in the paper that really got to me. They mentioned that if you just take a simple automatic speech recognition system, ASR they call it, and pair it with a text-based language model, it just totally bombs all the salmon tests.
Yeah, and that's really telling, isn't it?
It is.
It means those models that are just focused on transcribing the speech, they're missing a huge chunk of the information that's actually there in the audio.
It's like trying to understand like a whole symphony, but you're just reading the sheet music. You never actually hear the orchestra play.
That's a great way to put it.
So what if instead of, getting so hung up on speech to text, we start building AI that can just understand sound more holistically? Like tap into that deeper understanding that humans seem to have so naturally.
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really challenges the core of how we've been approaching speech AI all along.
It's exciting.
It makes you wonder what we could achieve if we start listening to sound in a whole new way.
What amazing things we might discover when we really learn to listen. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of sound and AI. Until next time, keep those ears open and those minds curious.